Today's topic is screening technique. Before we start, I would like to give one example that will help you to correlate. For example, there are 100 students in a classroom and I want to select only one student who is good at drawing. So for that, what I will do? I will do a kind of screening because from 100 I want to select only one student. Okay, so for that, the first step what I will do is I will give a blank paper sheet to all those 100 students and I will tell them to draw. Okay, in the first round from 100 I have selected 4 students. So what I have done, I have done a kind of primary screening I have done. Okay, after primary screening I have selected 4 students, but ultimately I want only one. So again there is a competition between a 4 student. Again I will give a blank paper sheet to all those 4 students, and in this time I will give one topic. On that topic they have to draw, and then after from 4 students I will select one. In this is a kind of second screening I have done because from 4 I have selected one. So this is what a kind of screening. Okay, I hope that this will help you to correlate. So let's start with screening technique. Definition says that both detection and isolation of high yielding strain from heterogeneous microbial population containing natural source, for example soil, is called screening. We detect and isolate high yielding strain. Here means are industrially important microorganisms we isolate from heterogeneous microbial population, means for example soil. Heterogeneous microbial population, which means that mixture of population. From mixture of populations we select industrially important strain, is called screening. In the another word, definition says that to sort out industrially important strain naturally from soil which contain heterogeneous microbial population. Okay, there are two type of screening technique. First is primary screening, second is secondary screening. We will see in detail. Ideal characteristic of industrially important strain. Here is the some points I have listed, that the ideal characteristic of industrially important strain. How our strain must be. Okay, our strain must be of high yielding strain. Okay, it should produce a product in a larger amount and in a short time. Our strain must be of like that type. Strain must be genetically stable. Not only the genetically but physiologically also it should be stable throughout the production. If we are producing any product, throughout the production it should be the genetically and physiologically it should be stable. Otherwise it would lead to the undesirable product. Having stable biochemical characteristic. Okay, it should have a stable biochemical characteristic. If it changes its biochemical pathway, then it leads to the undesirable product. So it should have stable biochemical characteristic. It should not produce undesirable substance instead of desirable product. Okay, ultimately we want only our desirable product. We are not concerned with undesirable product. So our strain must produce desirable product, what is required. Okay, fifth point says that must be grow on cheap and easily available media. It should grow on the cheap and easily available media. Its media requirement should not be so high or so much sophisticated, so it leads to the high cost of the production. Okay, sixth point says that strain must be non-toxic to human. It means that it should non-pathogenic to human. These are the some ideal characteristic of industrially important strain. Our strain must be of this type of characteristic should be containing. Okay, now we will move further with primary screening. Primary screening is a kind of random screening technique. It is based on seek and discard principle. It does not give idea about the product quality and quantity. Primary screening is carried out first from heterogeneous microbial sources, for example soil. Primary screening is done for various microbes, like we isolate the microorganism from soil such as antibiotic producer organisms, organic acid producing organism, amino acids or vitamin, that is the growth factor producing organisms, and the enzyme producing organisms. Okay, now we will see further. First we will start with antibiotic producing organisms. In that, the method we use, that is crowded plate technique. Okay, for that, first of all, we will take a soil sample. Soil is used as a source of sample. We will take a soil sample and we go for serial dilutions. In a sterile distilled water tube, we will go for serial dilutions. After going the serial dilutions, we will take 0.1 ml of aliquots and we will spread on the nutrient agar medium. Or we can also take 0.1 ml of aliquots and we will put into the melted agar, and again we pour into the medium. Choices depend. Either we can go for spread plate technique, pour plate technique, or stick plate technique. But here I have written in the spread plate technique I have done. Okay, here we will discuss about the spread plate technique. Okay, so what we have done, we have taken a soil sample, we go for serial dilution. After the serial dilutions, we will take aliquots. For example, here we have taken 0.1 ml aliquots and we will spread onto the nutrient agar medium. After spreading, we will incubate the plate at room temperature for 24 hours. Next day, we will select the plate having the colonies 100 to 300. We will select this plate. After that, the plate having well isolated colonies shows clear zone of inhibitions of the other microbes due to the production of antibiotic. If in the soil sample, if organisms has an capability to produce antibiotic, that will shows the zone of inhibition. These colonies are further isolate on desirable media. That colonies, we will pick up these colonies from this plate and we will further stick onto the another plate. Further subculture growth is purified by restreaking we will do. Stock culture is maintained for the further studies. Okay. But these are the some disadvantages of crowded plate technique. We will see. It is not always necessary that sensitive organisms are always present together with antibiotic producer. It will not give inhibition zone. It might have get resistance because the same microbial population is living together. It might be that sensitive organisms might have get resistance towards that. It may be, chances are that. So for that, improved, or we can say that modified crowded plate technique we use, in which we use test organisms. We will see modified crowded plate technique, which is also known as Wilkins method. In that, what we will do, first of all, we will take a soil sample and we go for dilutions. After going to dilutions, we will take a particular aliquots, respective aliquots, and we will spread onto the nutrient agar plate. After spreading onto the nutrient agar plate, we will incubate the plate at room temperature for 24 hours. After 24 hours, we will select the plates having the colonies between 100 to 300. Okay, and after that we will flood the plate with Wilkin top agar containing test organisms. Okay, we will take a Wilkin medium. Okay, in that we will add the test organisms, or we can say that Wilkin melted broth we will take, and in that we will add the test organisms and we will flood onto this colonies, this plate which having the 100 to 300 colonies count. Okay, incubate the plate further. Okay, again we will incubate. Next day, observe the plate for the zone of inhibition around the colonies indicate their antibiotic activity, and measure the diameter of zone which give enough approximately amount of antibiotic produced by various colonies. Second is amino acid or vitamins growth factor producing organism. This method is known as oxonography technique. In that, there is a two step is required. First step is preparation of first plate and the second step is preparation of second plate. Okay. preparation of first plate and the preparation of second plate. Two steps is required. In the preparation of first plate, first of all we will take a Petri plate of having 9 centimeter diameter. Okay, and we will cut a filter paper strip having 12 centimeter. Okay, then a filter paper strip is put across the bottom of Petri plate. Then nutrient agar is prepared and pour onto the Petri on the paper disc and allow it to solidify. After that, soil sample, we will take the soil sample and it diluted and proper dilutions are inoculated, or we go for spread plate technique. Okay, that is what is our preparation of first plate. In the preparation of first plate, we will take a 9 centimeter diameter of Petri plate and we will cut a filter paper strip of having 12 centimeter. In that Petri plate, we will put the filter paper strip, and on the filter paper strip we will put a filter paper of 9 centimeter, and in that soil containing soil sample from that aliquots we will spread on to it containing nutrient agar. Okay, now it is the preparation of second plate. In the preparation of second plate, what we will do, we will take a minimal media which means that having the lack of growth factor. Okay, in that we will take a minimal media, in that we will add the test organisms. Okay, now in the minimal media we will add the test organism, then the seeded medium is poured onto the fresh Petri plate and plate is allowed to set. Okay, what we have done, we will take a minimal media and in that we will add the test organisms and we will pour into the Petri plate, a new Petri plate or fresh Petri plate. Okay, then we have done a two kind of preparation step, preparation of first plate and the preparation of second plate. Now what we will do, agar in the first plate is then lifted and placed onto the second plate without inverting. With the help of tweezer or spatula, we will lift out the first plate containing agar and we will put onto the second plate. The growth factor produced on the agar can diffuse into lower layer containing test organism, and the zone of stimulation, or we can see that the zone of stimulated growth of test organism around the colony is an indication that organism produced growth factor extracellularly. Okay, this is how we go for growth factor producing organisms we isolate. Third is organic acid producer. Organic acid producer, in that also it is same. We generally from soil we isolate the organic acid producer. For that what we will do, use of organic acid as well as amine producer, pH indicated dye such as bromothiamyl blue, neutral red, these all are the pH indicated dye. If there is a pH change, that will leads to the change in the color. These dye are previously added in agar medium. Okay, this dye we add in the agar medium. If organism have ability to produce organic acid or amines, leads to the change in the color of dye in the vicinity of the colonies. Okay, surrounding the colonies, they will leads to the change in their color. This indicate that this organism has produced some organic acids or amine. This method is not foolproof because it may happen that organic acid and amine produced are due to the metabolic activity of microbial activity. This can be overcome by using the media having buffer capacity, so those organisms can induce color change which have capability to produce considerable amount of organic acid. Okay, in this what happen, we will take a media containing buffer capacity. If there is a small change in the pH, will not change in the color of the Petri plates. So if the organism produced more amount of organic acid than only, or amino acids or any kind of acid, then only it leads to the change in the pH. So we can identify with their plate. Okay, the another method for the organic acid producing organism, in that what we will do, addition of calcium carbonate in the medium leads to the indication of organic acid production by clear zone of dissolved calcium carbonate around organic acid producing colonies. In that, what happen? What we will do is we will take calcium carbonate into the nutrient agar medium, so it leads to the our plates will be of whitish appearance. If organism produce high amount of organic acid, then it leads to the transparent colonies we will observe, transparent zone of transparency we will observe. So this indicate this organism has produced some kind of organic acids. And calcium carbonate has its own buffering capacity. So when organism produce in a larger amount, then only it leads to the change from white to the transparent, or we can see that the clear zone of dissolved calcium carbonate around the organic acid producing colonies. Okay, organic acid production can be increased by incorporating the sucrose in the agar and agar medium. Fourth, that is amylase producing organism, that is enzyme producing organisms we will isolate from the soil. For that, what we will do, we will take 1 gram of soil sample into 10 ml of distilled water tube, mix it well and place into the tube into the water bath at 80°C for 10 minutes. Allow it to cool down and prepare cereal dilutions. Then we will take 0.1 ml of aliquots from each of the dilution and we will spread onto the nutrient, or we will go for strict onto the agar and nutrient starch agar plate. Okay, incubate all the plates at RT for 48 to 72 hours. Observe the plate at different time interval for the colonies showing the clear zone of starch hydrolysis. Okay, further flood the plate with Lugol's iodines. Observe for the colonies that do not shows the violet color in the vicinity. Okay, here we isolate the organism having the enzyme producing organism. Okay, this is what a kind of primary screening we do. From the soil sample we go for screening. We have learned the 4 screening technique. First, it was organic acid producing organism, antibiotic producing organism, growth factor producing organism, amylase producing organism. Okay.